That's it. That's the intro. What is up, guys? Butter Something here. Today's video is showing you every single scope in Escape from Tarkov. We're going to be including every scope that has a 3 or more times magnification in this video. So that being said, we're starting off with the PU-35. This scope is specific only for the Mosin. This, personally, to me, is my favorite scope for the Mosin just because it's a lot easier to use and is specifically designed for this weapon. So the chance of it being inaccurate is very, very small. The next scope we have is the PSO-1, and pay attention to the actual measurements on these. Each individual scope is separate for the PSO class. This also does turn on and off, so if you're playing night raids, you can turn this off and still use this scope, which is good. This is the PSO-1M2-1. Again, as you can see, the measurement is much bigger here on this scope. It also does turn on and off. And the whole PSO class of scopes is going to be 4 times. This is the PSO-1M2. As you can see, the measurements have changed once again. It as well also turns on and off. All right, now on to the direct mount scopes. These are going to be any scope that you can attach directly to any grid mount on any of the weapons. So this is the HAMR sight, or the HAMR sight. This has a 4 times main scope and then allows you to attach a DP sight on it, which is a 1 time sight. With these that do have a top sight, I do recommend aiming for the chin rather than the head if you are going for headshots, just because these are known to be inaccurate at times. The next sight we have here is the TACTIACL ACOG TA11D. This is a 3.5 times sight, and me personally, I don't like the triangle reticles just because for me they don't, always work, or maybe I'm just really crap with them. That's just me. I prefer the next scope that we're gonna see. This is the TACTIACL ACOG TA01 NSN, so that's Nancy Sam Nancy. This is a 4 times sight, and this personally, with that plus sign reticle, I think is just a better overall option when it comes to the TACTIACL class of scopes. The next scope we have here is the Bravo 4. The main scope is a 4 times. However, you can attach additional, like a PK06 or other variants such as the DP. You can attach those to the top, but all of those are going to be 1 time sight. Now here's our first interesting sight. This is the 1.6 VALDAY. It's just called the VALDAY 1-6. This has a 6 times and a 1 times. This is a very good sight if you're going to be sniping with an assault rifle or a semi-automatic DMR, something along those lines. This will be a very good scope for those weapons. And just like the 1.6 VALDAY, we actually have an ELCAN, which is a 1x4. Or a 4 times and a 1 times. This also is great for semi-automatics. Again, RSASs, M1As, SKSs. This will do the trick. It also has a top sight. I don't necessarily use this. I have used it rarely. It's worked, but again, aim for the chin, not for the top of the head. The next scope we have here is the NC Star. It has a 1 times mounted on top of it that comes already equipped, but it also has a 3 times and a 9 times. For me personally, the field of view within the scope is too small and does not feel as good as like the VALDAY per se. And again, you can rewind the video to kind of compare with these. You can see this timestamps below, but I don't think the field of view is good enough for me to justify using this sight, however good the reticle does look. All right, now we're going to move on to the ring-mounted scopes. This is the 25mm ring mount. This is the VOMZ PILAD, I think. It's PILAD. It's just a 4 times, doesn't do anything else. So, me clicking to change the, the sight distance doesn't do anything. But this is one of those scopes that you get very early on and will be fine if you're using it for like a VPO or something like that. The first 30mm mounted sight that we're going to talk about is the VUDU. I love this. This is absolutely the best However, do keep in mind with these 30mm sights minus the TAC-30 that we're going to talk about, I do recommend having a canted sight with them. So that being said, this is the VUDU. It's a 6x1, so 6 times and 1 times. Again, with this, it's just so bulky that, you know, sometimes going from 6 straight to 1 is okay, but with it being bulky, I recommend having a canted sight along with a standoff for that sight, so it stands farther off the gun. This is the canted sight I'm talking about. So to be able to get this, you need the NC Star mount, which is the NC Star MPR45, along with an aim point micro standard mount, which you then attach the Romeo on, and that's how you get this sight right here, and it actually stands off the weapon. Our next 30mm is the LEUPOLD. This is a 20 times sight, and you cannot change the distance. If you're going to use something like this, I recommend Shooter Born in Heaven, having somebody on your back, or again, a standoff canted sight. Now, this sight here is still a 30mm. It's the TAC-30. I love this sight. It is a 1 and 4 time magnification. This is the only one that I don't think you will ever need a canted sight. However, again, if you want to use it, use it. But for the other ones in this category, 110% is worth using the canted sight on. Our last sight here is the March Tactical. This one is a 14 time sight. However, the distance gauge, I think, is probably one of the most detailed in this class. So that being said, if this is something that you're looking to just snipe, I would definitely recommend this being one of those first snipers, as long as you have a battle buddy with you, or you, again, attach that canted sight. All right, moving to the 34mm mount, there's only 2. There's the Night Force, which we have here. And this, again, beautiful, absolutely amazing sight. It is a 7 and a 16 times. So keep that in mind. This isn't something that you're going to be able to kind of run and gun with. Use that canted sight, and 100% for this, you can see how big this weapon is. You're pretty much going to be needing a canted sight that stands off. And our last one here is the HENSOLDT. I don't even know how to say it. It's HENSOLDT. It's a 4x16, so 4 times and 16 times. You can get a specific 34mm mount like we did here and actually attach. You can see at the top here, you can actually attach another sight if you want to. However, I feel the canted sight definitely runs a lot truer than the top mounted sight. Now, we do have 2 scopes that use the Weaver mount. It's the IP59 and the IP69. Both of these are 3x10, so 3 times and 10 times. However, the cool thing about these is that you can have the 3 times with the light off, the light on, and then it changes to the 10 times with the light off, and then with the light on. So this is very cool. This works on both the 6.9 and the 5.9. This is the 6.9 just for comparison, because there will be, differences in these sights. So there's the 3, 10, and 10 on. Now, we do have special sights. These can get a little expensive, but this is a REAP IR. This you can invert, and it's a 2.5. It will be the only lower magnification than 3 on this list, due to the fact that it is a special case when it comes to the scopes. So this is actually thermal, and you can invert it for day and night, and it is pretty darn good, and the refresh rate on this is higher than it is on the FLIR, which I'm going to show you now. So this is the FLIR. You cannot invert the colors on this. However, you can zoom to up to 9 times. So it's 2.25 and a 9 times. So the refresh rate on these is slower, so it may be a little bit harder to track your target from a distance, but if you can get good with this thing, you will definitely be putting down bodies. That being said, I do want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and don't forget to extract from Raid by hitting that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video.